What's up, everybody? Welcome to Weight Loss Surgery Unfiltered. I wasn't planning on making any videos whatsoever, which is why I don't have like a preparing for bariatric surgery post. It's why I don't have a day after post. Honestly, I've been watching a lot of videos from really great people that I'll link to in the description, and a lot of them encourage you to make videos, and I considered it at first like kind of selfish and kind of self-aggrandizing, but I don't see it that way because they've basically talked me into it. I mean, the more personal experiences we can get out there, the more personal stories people might be able to relate to, and those personal stories might help them make decisions of their own. So everything I say on this channel is my personal experience. You'll hear that a lot. But I wanted to give my personal experience as well as a 1-month update to tell you how it's going, how it went. So straight from the beginning, at my heaviest, I weighed 356 pounds. That's the heaviest I ever saw the scale. I probably weighed more than that at some point, but that's the heaviest I ever saw. On my surgery date, I weighed 320 pounds, and today I weigh 290 pounds. So that's 30 pounds in a month, and I'll get into how the month has gone because it hasn't been, that sounds really great, and it is really great, but it hasn't been smooth sailing necessarily as far as weight loss is concerned. The first question I usually get is, did it hurt? And yeah, this surgery hurts. Some people have higher tolerances than others for pain. Maybe you have a much higher tolerance than I, and you'll be up and jogging around the hospital the second you get off painkillers. But it wasn't the case for me. They do get you up. At least my hospital did. They got me up the night of my surgery. I had my surgery at like 3, and I was up that evening walking. And I really wanted to get home. I have a 4-month-old daughter and a fiance, and I didn't like the idea of them being alone and my fiance having to deal with my daughter. She's not that hard to deal with, but by yourself, I'd imagine it's pretty tough. So I really wanted to get home. So I was up and walking a mile every day, a mile at a time every day. So a few miles a day for the couple of days I was in the hospital. Again, I mean, there's a crazy amount of motivation. It's not going to be the same for everybody. When you get home, I got on a clear liquid diet that is exactly as much fun as it sounds. Chicken broth, and I didn't have any gel. I just pretty much had chicken broth, which was delicious because my fiance just didn't want me pouring a can of chicken broth into a little 2-ounce thing and drinking that. She would actually add seasonings and stuff. It was kind of good. But I mean, at the same time, it sucked because I'm a big guy. One day I'll put on this channel the amount of food I would order at like Taco Bell. It's not 2 ounces of chicken broth. It's more of a challenge, honestly, just seeing the portion. And I'll get into what the challenges have been after I get through the diet and exercise portion of this video. Then you move into purees. I highly recommend a book called Eating Well After Weight Loss Surgery. It's an excellent, excellent cookbook. There's been one meal in that, one pureed meal that I wasn't over the moon about. Even then I ate dinner and then had some for lunch the next day, the barbecued chicken. It just wasn't great, but go ahead and try it. Anyway, I highly recommend that book. And there's a lot of stuff on Pinterest for the puree stage. It doesn't have to be terrible. I mean, I was eating 4 ounces of pureed whatever with a baby spoon. It took me a half hour to 45 minutes to finish it. It still feels like a meal. It's fine. And things went really well. So right now I am eating whatever I want for the most part. I'm not being stupid about things, taking very small bites and chewing the hell out of them. But, for Easter, which was last Sunday, about a week ago, I had ham and turkey and all regular stuff. I just had little tiny bits of it. Now, as far as exercise is concerned, this is going to be extremely different depending on the person, really. I surprised myself with how quickly things progressed for me as far as pain and as far as the amount of exercise that I was able to do. 6 days after I got my surgery, I was on the treadmill at my gym jogging. That's because I felt like I could do it. I definitely, I've tried not to push too hard on the exercise thing. I'm sure that people would say I did just by even attempting to jog that day, but I did, and today I jog and walk. I do the fat guy the wog. Really, I do the fat guy jog, but I'm doing the couch to 5K thing. I'm 1.5 to 2 miles every day during lunch. So exercise for me has not been an issue. It is for a lot of people who get this surgery. I would say the psychological part of exercising was much harder than the physical part of it for me. So that's a diet, exercise. I want to get into the challenges of this month because it's been a challenging month, not physically really at all, but mentally, it's psychologically, it's been a very challenging month. So once I was up on my feet, feeling 100%, whatever, I started exercising. I lost 20 pounds in the first week. I lost 30 pounds in the first month. 20 pounds of it is because I had most of a major organ removed, and I was on a clear liquid diet, and the weight really fell off very, very fast. It kind of gave me a false sense of what it might be like, what this experience might be like. But then it was a real struggle. I kept gaining and losing the same 2 pounds every single day. Now, part of that, it looks like, is kind of a natural thing. Just talking to other people, talking to my nutritionist, it's not uncommon for after 2 weeks for you to kind of stall for a little while. But it is extremely frustrating. You can probably hear my daughter in the background. I'm not going to put a ton of editing work into these videos. You're just going to hear her. And maybe my dog, if you could hear that. So I kept losing and gaining the same 2 pounds. You really shouldn't weigh yourself every day. I totally do, and most of the time, multiple times a day. Now I'm just kind of curious what my body does during the day. It was extremely difficult. So I talked to my nutritionist. I showed her everything that I was eating. I used MyFitnessPal for the moment to track my food. And she was like, holy Jesus, Matt, you're eating like 300 calories a day. Yeah, you're never hungry with this, especially in the first month. So I was like, yeah, I mean, that's how much I can eat. You're never going to lose any weight. Right now, your body is convinced that you're starving, that there isn't any food around. It's not about to lose any of its reserves. And considering you are mostly reserve, that can be a problem. So I started doing a lot better about eating every few hours. Yogurt and the protein shakes are great sources of calories. Honestly, getting the protein wasn't much of an issue, man. I love eggs. I love eggs and chicken. And so getting the protein wasn't as much of an issue as getting the calories. So the protein shakes help. I'm not going to recommend a protein shake because I'm not a huge fan of the ones I use now, but other videos do. So that was a challenge. I will say, over the past week and a half, that has diminished somewhat. I'm down to 290 now. So I've lost 10 pounds really after the initial 20, and then after the stall, I've kind of started losing again. So that's really good. I mean, I don't remember a time as an adult where I weighed 290 pounds. I mean, I didn't weigh myself for about 10 years, so that probably helps, but I don't remember a time where I weighed 290. So I'm very happy about that. So what I'll say the biggest challenge for me was coming to terms with the fact that I really liked, I guess, binge eating. I'm not going to get into it. You can disagree with me all you like. I'm not one of these guys who really ascribes to the idea that I was a food addict or that I couldn't control myself around food. I think if I couldn't control myself around food, then I would have already failed at this surgery. I can control myself around food, fine. I just really like to eat a lot. A lot of food. If it tastes good, man, I don't want to stop eating until I can't stop eating. If you want to call that a disorder, fine. I don't have it suddenly anymore. But If you want to call it a disorder, fine. But that was honestly very surprising to me. My fiance and I, a few days after the surgery, we wanted to get out and walk. It was around her birthday, and we wanted to go see a movie. So we were walking through the mall, and you have to walk through a food court in order to get to the movie at this particular mall, in order to get to the movie theater. And I wanted so bad to stop at every single one of those places, man. And that really surprised me because I literally couldn't be hungry. I wasn't hungry. And if I had had a bite of any of the shitty food at that food court, I would have thrown up and had some awful diarrhea. I could barely smell that stuff without feeling nauseous, but something in me really wanted to go to Taco Bell and spend about $20 and just go nuts. Just look at the menu and say, yeah, no, yes, please. I would like all of that with a side of everything, please. Thank you. And that was really surprising to me. I don't consider myself to be out of control with food, I guess. I guess I just considered it to be something I did, but I don't think I realized how much I liked it, and that was surprising and honestly a little bit depressing for me. And it's something I'm working through now. I'm trying to. I believe that when you have something like that, something between a compulsion and a hobby, that the way you get past doing that is to kind of replace it with something else. So that's what I've been trying to do. I'm starting a company with my business partner. I'm reading everything. I'm going to the gym at lunch rather than Taco Bell. Just trying to replace that, what essentially amounted to a hobby, something I really enjoyed doing, with something that I can enjoy doing that's also healthy for me. So those have been the challenges. The benefits, I already feel pretty good. And I'm sure that's a combination of weighing about 60 pounds less than I did at my heaviest. Also, and the little things that come with that, tying my shoes without getting out of breath, which is like the saddest benefit I've ever heard in my life. Being able to get on the floor with my daughter and be somewhat comfortable, more comfortable than I was. Watching the time that I can spend jogging increase. I really enjoy running. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I really enjoy running. And it's surprising to me how well that's going. I've done 5Ks and stuff before. I mean, this isn't completely new, but it's still surprising to me that I enjoy it. One of the first responses that I got once I got back, and once I was exercising and not losing the weight, and I'm a pretty open guy. I mean, I told people I wasn't losing the weight. First question I got, and it's from somebody that I know how she wanted me to answer, was, do you regret it? You know, you're doing all this work. You hardly have a stomach anymore. Do you regret getting the surgery? No, this is a woman who thought she knew better than me in the first place anyway. She wanted me to say, yes, I regret it. But of course I don't regret it. First of all, it's been a month. If I'd only lost the 20 pounds in the first week, I would have lost 20 pounds in a month. That's a good month. 30 pounds is a great month. I don't regret it at all. The benefits so far, even with all the pain, even with the challenges, even with having to come to terms with very uncomfortable truths about myself, I wouldn't go back and undo it by any stretch of the imagination. I am dedicated to making this the best decision of my life. That's it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to do Q&As and things like that with this channel. So if you have any questions, go ahead, send them there, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Okay, bye.